Today is the big sowing day. I'm going to get quite a few seeds in today. I'm going to start with some red barren onion. I keep looking down here, it's purely because I have my little dog over here with what it is I'm going to plan to sow today. It's very cold this morning. I really like the cold, though standing still, sowing seeds means your feet get very cold. But nonetheless, here we go. So far I filled up this seed tray. Compacted the compost as much as possible, or pushed it in as much as possible. I've made little holes in each module, about a fingernail depth, and I plan to sow these red barren onions. These are pelleted, so they're green, makes it easier to see. These are from Multisown Seeds. I'll put the link in the description. I'm going to multi-sow into this module tray, so there will be maybe 4 to 5 seeds per cell. Yeah, so I shall go with that. Okay, so I've pretty much covered all the seed with compost now. I'm going to firm it down. Having 4 seeds per cell is called multi-sowing. The reason that I do it this way is purely for space saving. They'll all grow really well together. They don't mind growing in a bunch. Earlier in the season, you can pick one of the 4 that have grown. Hopefully, one of the 4 that have grown. That in turn gives more space for the other ones, so you can leave them in, and the 3 that are left in the ground will get bigger. But predominantly, they're all going to be medium size onions. Yeah, and that's what we kind of like, really. So yeah, that's that done. All nicely compressed. So these should be nice and easy to get out of the module tray when I go to put them in the ground. I shall leave them in here about 6 weeks. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure about how germination is going to go because it's still quite cold. Onions don't mind the cold, but it might just mean that germination takes a little bit longer. Ordinarily, I'd have done these at home in a warm cupboard for a few days or maybe a week until I saw them coming through. But yeah, so that's how I multi-sow my red barren onions. Just wanted to talk a little bit about labelling my seedlings. This is something I haven't been particularly good at in previous years, and then I never know what I've got, what's done well, and whether I should actually bother to do them again. So these are homemade labels. Milk bottle, 4 pint milk bottle, cut up into small strips. They're plastic. They're easy to write on with a Sharpie or marker pen, and you can reuse them year after year. I use some hand sanitizer, which has alcohol in it, and that just cleans them off. Give them a wash over, dry them off, and they're all ready to use again. So these are my red barren, and I'm sowing those today, which I believe is the 8th of the 2nd, 23. And now I like to put on a expected harvest date. It just means that when I put them in the ground, because I will do these now, and then in maybe a month's time I'll do another lot so that we have a successional sowing of onions, so that therefore they harvest over a longer period rather than having one whole harvest of these now in August and then nothing after that. So I'll do successional sowings of these. So if I put on here that I expect to harvest in August, I can put that in the ground and then I'll know that those will hopefully be ready to harvest in August. Not gone in there particularly well. Let's try a different cell. I've compacted the so much it's difficult to get in. There we are. But that's it. So now I'm just going to water these. Once I've emptied this tray, I want to reuse this compost that's in here. When I first started gardening, I often watered too much. So this is just a point to take note of when sowing seeds in these module trays, particularly in these small ones. It's just a case of soaking the whole depth of the modules. Once you've done that, they shouldn't need watering again until the time where they're quite strong, large plants, and then I will bottom water rather than spray water over the top. I'm just going to let that soak in a couple of times. I'll do one more soaking, and then they'll live on this bench in the poly. Yeah, in a few weeks' time, hopefully we'll be able to see them germinating and growing well. Okay, so I've spent all morning, well, the last couple of hours, sowing all my seeds that I need to do for today. I've got red barren onions, then we've done some salad onions. These are my red North Holland red onions. Again, they're bunching onions, they'll be harvested as bunching onions. And then we've got some calabrese. I've done these in slightly bigger tubs because they will stay in the polytunnel a little bit longer, and they will almost certainly be potted on as well until the ground outside is ready. So there's in this one here we've got 2 seeds in each cell, and then we've got some cauliflower. I believe it's snowball. So there is again 2 seeds in each cell, and again they'll be potted on over the next month or so. This one we have around about 80 beetroot seeds. These will go into the polytunnel beds. They do like warmth. Then we have cabbage. This is a hearting cabbage. And then we've got a cabbage. This is it's an early cabbage. Can be used to plant in late autumn, overwintered, ready for spring, but does just as well this time of year. Ready for harvest probably around about June time, I would imagine. Then these are colettes. A lot of people haven't heard of colettes. I hadn't until last year. Thank you for Steve at the Seaside Kitchen and Garden Allotment for pointing us towards these. These are, they look like a Brussels sprout when they're grown. So a big main stem, and then they have lots of small florets, shall we say. They're sort of a combination between a Brussels sprout and a small cabbage. I will show those in a moment. So here's the Brussels sprouts, and these are the collects that I was just referring to having sown. These are what you pick off, and they are a combination of flavours between a Brussels sprout and a cabbage. Really nice. So this is my first year growing them. They were hit very hard at the end of last year, or should I say late summer last year, by whitefly. Yeah, I really didn't actually think they were going to do anything, to be honest, but that said, they're yeah, they're good to go, good to pick. So I should be harvesting those today before I leave. I did quite a few, not really knowing how they were going to turn out. As you can see, there's quite a bit of pigeon damage on these. You can tell it's usually bird damage because they tend to eat between the veins and leave the veins. But yeah, so, but the pigeons are welcome to them, as long as they actually leave the collects alone. I'm happy with that. And now back to the seeds that I've just sown. So yeah, as I said, here we've got some collects planted now. These will be ready to harvest from October onwards, and again, as I said previously, they are good until March or thereabouts. Again, Brussels sprouts, much the same as the collects. So now this is a fill basket variety. Done particularly well with these in the last few years, with the exception of this extreme cold weather that we've had recently. But having said that, there's some of the Brussels sprouts are still there and ready to go, as you've just seen in the video. This is something I don't usually do, so this is a bit of a trial for me. Lettuce, or should we say salad leaves. As I say, it's not something I've really done before. I did a few, but they just tend to go over so quickly for me. So I thought I'd give them a go and start them really early this year. I've literally just done 6 rows of different varieties. I do love to eat lettuce. I find it ridiculously expensive in the shop when actually the seed is very cheap. Excuse me. So we have some rocket, particularly like rocket, Riccia, a Grenoble red. That's a really nice shiny green and red leaf. Then we have red oak leaf. As the name suggests, it's a nice shiny red leaf. Then we have canaster, and a butter oak again is like a frilly green and red lettuce, sort of. Yeah, it's got like red patches on. So yeah, this is a bit of a trial for me. So we're going to give that a go. But yeah, so that's the work done in the polytunnel this morning.